Lit by miners' lamps, rescuers bring out only the dead, one sorrowful bundle after another. Hope is fading, fear is rising that those still trapped also died in the deep. Overnight at a local hospital, families waited desperately to identify the last few survivors, to hear their names. Others scanned photos of the dead and grieved. The Turkish Prime Minister Tayyip Erdogan came this morning to comfort and to try and tamp down growing anger. He got quiet respect here. But later, defensive, he said these things happen in all countries. And the Prime Minister was dogged by demonstrators, fed up with Turkey's poor safety record. Across the country, protests, labor organizers calling this work-related murder, in spite of government assurances that this mine was regularly inspected.
For Turkey, in 2011, 159 fatalities in mining and quarrying, and in 2012, 61. These are, in absolute terms, of course, a lot of people.
State mines were sold off 10 years ago. The owner of this one told a local newspaper the company cut production costs by 80%. This accident cruelly happened during a shift change. 787 workers were either going down or coming up from 2 kilometers below, as far as 4 kilometers from the mine entrance. The power failure shut down ventilation, paralyzing miners' cages, which would have brought them back up. This video shows rescuers could navigate some tunnels, but the ones beyond were choked with smoke and gas. More than half did not make it out. There is something particularly terrifying about a mining accident down in the deep. Nova Scotia lost 26 miners in an underground explosion back in 1992. So there are vigils here and in Turkey, accusations that the government and the company bear the blame for that country's worst mining disaster. Peter.
All right, Susan, thank you. Susan Ormiston of the vigil site here in Toronto. Well, even before this disaster, Turkey's government was facing harsh questions about the safety of its mines. Now there are demands for action. On street marches and sit-ins, the hard hat has become a symbol of solidarity, and protesters have arrayed themselves like the dead in a mute testament to fallen miners. There have been more than 1,300 fatal accidents in Turkey since the year 2000, many of them in coal mines. For every 1 million tons of coal pulled out of the ground each year, 7 miners die, the highest rate in the world.